The curse of Oak Island has haunted humanity for centuries. Different minds have created different speculations, and some of them have even found physical evidence. So today, I am bringing you 3 wildest treasure stories about the island. The curse began to find different backings after the legend of Captain Kidd became a folklore, a notorious pirate who is rumored to have buried treasure on Oak Island. It is said that he placed a curse on the treasure to protect it from being discovered. Fast forward to 2023, June 7th, 2023. The Lagena brothers made a significant discovery in their search for the Oak Island treasure with a new scanning tool called ground-penetrating radar. They were excavating in Smith's Cove, an area of the island believed to be the treasure's location, when they found a large stone slab buried 10 feet under the ground with strange symbols of 1 inch carved into it. The slab weighs around 1,000 pounds and is composed of limestone and about 3 feet broad, 2 feet tall, and 6 inches thick. The Lagena brothers sought professional aid for interpretation because they thought the symbols on the slab had some significance despite being unintelligible. Sadly, thus far, their efforts haven't been fruitful. This is the first significant discovery in the area since they started looking in 2015. The brothers are relentlessly digging in the region in the hopes of finding further leads, since they are persuaded that the slab may contain a hint as to the whereabouts of the riches. Besides the stone slab, they have also discovered several other priceless things at Smith's Cove, including coins, wooden planks, and beams, among other artifacts, over the years. But that's not all. The brothers claim that these discoveries show a sophisticated flood control mechanism was in place to safeguard the jewels, bringing them one step closer to finding the treasure buried on Oak Island. And this time, they go on many different terrain and paths. On June 14th, 2023, the team discovered a broken piece of old metal, adding more confusion in this decade-old treasure hunt. The metal has a diameter of approximately 1 inch and is about ½ inch thick. It is made of a copper alloy and has an illegible raised pattern on one side that shows a face or human form. According to the brothers, this metal object was part of a coin made in the 17th century, which is a significant hint that Oak Island's treasures were hidden there then. Although unclear, the experts think it to be a chunk of money. Who knows? On top of that, they struggle to explain the meaning of the coin's design. This metal chunk is the second most significant discovery in the area, which signifies yet another crucial development in the ongoing search for Oak Island's treasures. The lads continue to scan the environment intently in search of fresh cues. To them, the design appeared as an ambiguous face of a human. The metal item that was unexpectedly found 12 feet below the surface weighs barely 0.5 ounces. Moving on with the discoveries, on June 21st, 2023, the Lagena brothers made another important discovery, an unusual little piece of wood. It was initially built from oak, which has a remarkable texture. According to the Lagena brothers, the wood could have come from a ship buried on Oak Island in the distant past. And this finding in particular is crucial because it adds evidence suggesting a ship buried the wealth on Oak Island, whereas it implies that precious cargo like gold or silver may have been carried by the ship. In an interview, the crew members said the piece of wood was discovered 15 feet below the ground's surface. Days after days, they were excavating in Smith's Cove on the island, which is supposed to be where the treasure is hidden, when they came upon a little ceramic shard that they believed to be from a jug. The ceramic object is 2 inches in diameter and 0.5 inches thick. It was formed of a substance that mimics clay and has a particular pattern on one side. In the pattern, a flower or plant was observed. The Lagena brothers claim the ceramic piece may have come from a jug used to transport wine or other liquids. This would prove that humans were residing on Oak Island in the 17th century, since it would show where the treasure could be buried. They have made several fascinating discoveries in their search, including several Roman artifacts. A lead sword is among the most important Roman artifacts that the Lagena brothers unearthed. And, to everyone's surprise, Smith's Cove is where the sword was located. The sword is assumed to have been manufactured in Italy and dates to the 1st or 2nd century AD, which is ornamented with several motifs, including a dolphin and a trident, and it is in generally good shape. The pottery fragment is another remarkable Roman artifact that the Lagena brothers unearthed. It was discovered in the island's Money Pit region, and supposed to have been produced in France and dates to the 4th or 5th century AD. On the other hand, it was decorated with symbols, including a cross and a sundial. The brothers discovered several other Roman artifacts on Oak Island beside the lead sword and the piece of pottery. Coins, nails, and jewelry are some of these relics. Some people think that Oak Island was previously visited by Roman explorers because of the existence of these Roman articles. A reality television series called The Curse of Oak Island follows the hunt for riches on Oak Island. The brothers Rick and Marty Lagina, who have been looking for the loot for more than 10 years, are followed throughout the series. The Lagina brothers and their gang continued their hunt for riches on the mysterious island in the most recent episode of The Curse of Oak Island, picking up where the previous one left off. The crew concentrated on the marsh in this episode because it was the location of several intriguing artifacts they had previously discovered, including a lead cross and a stone with the Latin inscription 70 feet below. They were able to locate several abnormalities in the swamp using a range of techniques, including sonar and ground-penetrating radar, which they suspect might represent the remnants of buried buildings. One of the most intriguing oddities is a big rectangular object around 70 feet below the surface. The crew is excited to dig into this to see what they uncover, since they think it may be a treasure box. The crew must not harm what they seek, since the marsh is challenging and dangerous. Eventually, they excavated a tiny area of the item, but could not see what was within. In a later episode, they will have to go back to the swamp to carry on their hunt. Yet, the crew made modest strides on other parts of the island. They started digging a new shaft close to the marsh and continued to drill in the money pit location. The crew made some progress in their hunt for riches, even though they made no significant finds in this episode. They are optimistic that the forthcoming episodes will include something important. As more proof that Oak Island has long been the location of covert operations, or more precisely, clichés, the presence of a nearby treasure, the researchers also discovered traces of earlier human activity. That's not it, though. The real deal was the map they found on the island, which dated back to 1647. It was a French copy, with the labels hatch, valve, and anchor, suggested significant connections. In particular, it suggested that the money may have come from Africa, raising the intrigue around Oak Island. The brothers are convinced this map will point them toward their lost money. The series has followed their journey for over a decade, and it will be interesting to see if they can finally solve the mystery. The story goes that, in 1795, while on an adventure on the island, a group of boys around the age of 13 discovered a dip in the earth. They began digging since they believed it to be a fake hole, and as they dug, they found multiple layers of wood and other things. Yet, a mysterious flood stopped them in their tracks, filling the hole with water and blocking any further excavation. As soon as word of the discovery spread, treasure seekers from all over the world flocked to Oak Island to look for the loot. The Onslow Company, a group of financiers, organized the first orderly excavation of the Money Pit in the year 1803. This specific team was able to dig down to a depth of 90 feet before the flooding, which happened in the pit once more, hampered their attempts. Meanwhile, the excavations were permanently halted in 1909 as the Oak Island Treasure Company went out of business. Since then, several other parties have tried to find the treasure buried on Oak Island.
Made clear enough to be explored. The first step in the process seems to be putting together a very strong and useful tool called the hammer grab, which weighs more than 3 tons and is used for digging. After the dig, the team plans to build new 8-foot-tall wooden levels to try to link to the confirmed but still unexplored tunnel. Different artifacts found by the Oak Island team during their past drilling have proven that the tunnel is there. Some of the water that was pumped out has been seen and studied so far and found to contain gold and other things. But there is one thing that stands out from what they saw. The water that was covered in gold didn't seem to come from the garden shaft. Instead, it seemed to come from the baby blob, which is west of the garden shaft. It was found that the baby blob had the most metal and other artifacts compared to other parts of the money pit, through past study and excavation efforts. The team has a lot of hopes for both during and after the addition of the shaft area. A lot of people are positive, excited about the discoveries that will be made, and interested in where they came from. The team was able to figure out the right way for their excavation work by looking at maps and past observations of the land. The garden shaft was the best place to begin the addition at any height and on a flat surface. With this going on, an area of up to 80 feet can be dug up, explored, and watched. This is a large underground area that should yield many artifacts during the process. One thing is certain about this whole operation: good things will happen, even though the team will face some problems along the way. Another good thing is that some problems are easy to solve with the help of the team's partners at Dumas Contracting Limited. The drilling company is helpful when there is no way to get to places with a lot of metal materials. They can also help with additions if needed. If we're lucky, no prize will be forgotten and the chances of finding the lost treasure are higher than ever. The Dumas team starts the job on a good note, ready to find out more. A few hours into the workday, some team members met in the war room as normal. But this time, it was to have a meeting with someone from Ideon Technologies. The purpose of the meeting was to go over the scientific reports of the money pit. A lot of the Oak Island team seems worried about what the reports might say. The study was mostly useful, and the Ideon Technology team worked hard to make sure it was correct. In the money pit area, the tech team put about 14 monitors into 5 boreholes. It's very, very deep, but most of the sensors were only 80 to 250 feet below the ground. This is very, very close to the tube. It wasn't just recently that the investigation was done. It happened as early as 2021, and it took almost 2 years to do all the necessary studies. This means that the report's conclusions are not based on quick observations, but on thorough study and testing. Based on the story, it looks like the sensors could pick up muons even when they were buried several feet deep. The representative said there were specific things to look for, like suits, voids, tubes that cross at the money pit, and strange things happening underground. The reports were shown clearly, showing how full the money pit was. The 3D picture shows that the areas with moderate density are yellow, the areas with low density are blue dots, and the areas with high density are orange and red. Based on how you look at it, places with a high density are more likely to have treasures, while areas with a low density are more likely to have tunnels, voids, or vaults. Based on the picture, the result is good overall. What should be the baby blob was found about 65 feet below the money pit, west of the garden shaft. There was a lot of stuff there. More than 112 feet below the surface, however, there is a low-density area. The team has a conflict of interest because the results mean they might not be able to get to the high-density area because Dumas Limited is still running. Luckily, this isn't the only place where there are a lot of people. An oddity was found about 85 feet southwest of the garden shaft and 230 feet below the money pit. It had a much higher density than other places. This information makes everyone think of their potential. It looks like Oak Island might have more than one prize. This fact has never occurred to searchers in the past or present until now. The team is willing to learn more about what has been found and agrees to use careful digging to try to find out more about the island. As the minute went on, another report was made about an odd, low-density area that Oak Island's team seemed to have looked into. It's different from other low-density, concentrated areas because it seems to cover a mythical, important spot. There have been many attempts to find Aladdin's cave, but it has been hidden by the void for a long time. The L15 hole was drilled, and a big hole was cut at the SDW of the garden shaft just a year ago. The cave was about 40 feet long and 12 feet wide, and there were drawings and other signs of human activity inside. When people were asked about the water in Aladdin's cave, they said it was heavily contaminated with heavy metals, and it looks like the water has some gold in it. It's possible that the cave has been found before, but if not, it has now because all the signs point to it being the right place for the mythological place to be. The report from Ideon Technologies has changed the game and taken a big step forward in finding the prize. Right now, they have exact places, clear goals, and a plan for how to drill. This is a great result that shows that the years of study were very useful. Luckily, L15 can be drilled right away because it is not near the garden shaft. Drilling can start as soon as it is planned to. The meeting went very well because it proved what most of the team already knew. There was more than one treasure at and near the money pit. I think we can all agree that technological progress was a big part of solving many of Oak Island's secrets. The Dumas Contracting Company keeps drilling deep in the garden shaft in the morning of a new day. This time, they are going to dig up L14, Aladdin's cave. On the other hand, archaeologists at Lot 5 keep digging deeper into the stone wall of the rectangle depression that was built to hide the treasures. Some finds have been made, as expected. Some of them go back to before Oak Island, and its treasures were found. The crew found a new object early on, a piece of metal that they thought might be a bolt or a chain link. There could be a few clues as to why the claimed chain link's pieces were found. Some people think that the object broke while being moved or bonded with other items, possibly treasure, and was then buried before the stone wall was built. There's also a chance that something strange and possibly more complicated happened in the area. Where did the idea come from? What was the point of it? Who were the makers anyway? It is likely that the proposed CT scan of the artifact would solve these questions. But one thing is for sure, Lot 5 wasn't just a neighborhood. There is proof that it was also used for military purposes, either because of a conflict or as a training ground. The archaeologists keep carefully digging and sorting to find more unique artifacts that might finally give them information about what people did in the area. Back in the Money Pit area, another member of the team starts to work on the trash that was taken away. The expert with the metal detector and the historian on the team worked together to dig through the trash and find metal objects. Gary found several strong metal signs in the thick, murky water more than a year ago, but he wasn't able to get as much information because the search had been stopped. There was, however, a lot of proof that the place had a lot of precious metals. There are fewer limits on the operation this time, which means it will have more effects. Not long after the scanning, the detector made a number of beeps, which, as expected, meant that valuable metals were present. In no time, a big metal piece thought to be a wedge was found in the mud and other junk. The metal spike is likely part of an axe, as this is what most people think it is. But why would a piece of metal from an axe be more than 80 feet below the ground? Was it used to build tunnels, or did it break while the valuable metals were being buried? If this theory is even slightly true, it looks like the metal wedge dates back to at least 1735. It may contain information about the people who lived in that area and their way of life, society, and technology. The item was sealed and kept until it could be scanned and studied in the lab. The search was put on hold until the debris was dry enough to dig through properly. Drilling for shaft L14 is still going on late into the night, and the team is getting
Rare artifacts. But what precisely are these insane discoveries they managed during the final excavation in the whimsical realm of Oak Island? There is yet another challenge for the men on the Curse of Oak Island. In an effort to prevent them from digging on the island, the Canadian government intervened. Finding underground entrances to what they think is the riches was the objective, though. Regrettably, bureaucracy is getting in the way. The team discovered what could have been a hidden room next to the garden shaft. Doug engaged Dumas Contracting Limited to come in and work as excavators to dig them down and into these potential chambers. He did this by giving them a call. They think they have discovered pathways leading to a potential hidden treasure on the island. The crew was forced to wait since it would take 50 days to descend 75 feet as a result. They thought they may have just discovered a network of tunnels and chambers leading to the fabled hidden wealth. Additionally, they think one of the artifacts they discovered was of Viking provenance, which is much older than they had anticipated. But there is a new issue now. The hire of excavators, according to the Canadian government, indicates that the Lagena brothers require a mining warrant. Even though they are not officially mining, red tape has once again turned the authorities against the crew searching for wealth. Not all fans, though, appeared shocked. The Canadian government wants to stop a group of well-documented gold diggers from blindly rebuilding a wooden shaft that descends to an unknowable depth on an island where 6 treasure hunters have already perished doing the same thing. And they're the bad guys in this situation, a fan wrote on Reddit. The Canadian government has already meddled with the Lagena brothers' search for treasure on the Curse of Oak Island. They stopped conducting a significant portion of the island's excavation work in 2021. The Lagena brothers' crew discovered many hundred-year-old indigenous artifacts at this time. The crew found First Nation Mi'kmaq pottery fragments on the island during Season 9. Marty Lagena stated in an episode at the time that they would avoid using archaeological techniques as they awaited the outcome of the situation. The only change that came as a consequence was a tightening of the show's rules. The brothers switched from conventional archaeological approaches to unconventional digging tactics at that time. This season they improved on that by mapping out places beneath the island using modern technology, allowing them to locate hints and potential entrance routes without needlessly excavating. But the excavation led to a fresh dispute with the Canadian authorities. Will obstacles keep standing in the way of the Lagena brothers' search for the lost fortune on the Curse of Oak Island? Who knows? In the 6th season episode Voyage to the Bottom of the Cenote, things take a worrying turn as treasure seeker Marty Lagina makes the optimistic but hasty declaration, "Here we are in H8. We're going to keep looking. What may possibly fail?" When metal detecting specialist Gary Drayton discovers a possible top pocket discovery amid the loot, the squad has no notion of the fate that is about to befall them. Coming from the more optimistic of the two treasure-hunting Lagina brothers, these words have an especially ominous ring to them. In a recent episode, the action in the money pit area came to a similar sudden halt when someone found what could be a bone fragment. The more the Lagina brothers and their team excavate, the closer they reach the legendary treasure. It's been almost a decade since they worked on unearthing the truth, but unfortunately they never reached such a great height until now. This season left them, and their fans shocked when they brought such discoveries to the audience's platter. However, things will take to the next level in The Curse of Oak Island Season 10, Episode 25, when the new discoveries connect all the pieces together. So, are they close to locating the treasure? Well, fans are curious to learn this. And the hits keep coming. The next episode will solve another enigma. On Lot 5, Laird Niven resumes his excavation work. The crew will search for the secret buried beneath the triangle-shaped marsh as they move on. The team will continue digging, but they will soon get startling information that links Lot 5 to the triangle-shaped marsh. When the crew keeps digging in Money Pit, they'll also discover a remarkable discovery. They are now more prepared than ever to solve the puzzle. Marty, Craig, and Charles have been getting ready to down the 82-foot shaft for the past week. The crew didn't think there could be a tunnel underneath the shaft's terminus since one of the sides kept sinking. They chose to independently verify it despite this theory. Charles made the decision to go first and offer his services to everybody, but he had to go through specialized training first in order to achieve this. He descended and observed the garden shaft's dropping corner. After what he had seen, the group decided to dig at the bottom to see if there were any potential tunnels nearby. Marty, though, placed a hold on it. He intended to perform a self-check but needed more time to complete his dedicated training. Meanwhile, Alex, Rick, and Peter traveled to Italy to consult Umberto Musa, a specialist in coins and artifacts from antiquity. He examined the coins and found Oak Island had some ties to the Roman Empire as well. This happened as a result of one of the coins being a Roman coin. Byzantine gold coins were weighed against another coin to determine whether or not they were genuine. Laird Niven's continuing drilling on Lot 5 resulted in their most recent finding. In the meantime, Rick kept searching for answers in the area known as Nolan's Cross, but for the time being, the group keeps looking into the enigmatic circular depression in the marsh. They discover ceramic shards and charcoal fragments that they surmise may be remnants of a cooking pot or a campfire. The lead artifact that was discovered in the swamp is examined by experts in the war room. They think it is a lead cross and that it was probably made in France. This could be proof that the French had anything to do with the Oak Island enigma. The group looked for tunnels beneath the garden shaft using a probing drill. They discovered a little quantity of wood that could be proof of a tunnel. This time, Gary Drayton uses a metal detector to check the recent spoils while the heavy equipment operator continues his work. Two substantial iron spikes that Gary immediately finds are both dated to the 1700s. If the artifacts are actually from the 18th century, the narrator speculates that Smith's Cove flood tunnel builders rather than the Truro Company, who built Shaft 5 in 1850, are more likely to have left them behind. Later that day, Marty Lagina and Craig Tester participate via Skype at the War Room meeting of the Fellowship of the Dig. The crew is informed by Marty and Craig that they just met Jeremy Church, a geophysicist working for Eagle Canada's seismic exploration business, who appears in Season 6, Episodes 1 and 3. The data from the extensive seismic survey of the eastern half of Oak Island that Church and the rest of the Eagle Canada team completed back in Season 7, Episode 6 has finally been analyzed. The information points to the existence of an anomaly at a depth of around 60 feet close to the southeast corner of the cave-in pit. The anomaly significantly resembles the Smith's Cove flood tunnel since it is linear and looks to be moving toward the money pit. Remember how GPR specialists Steve Watson and Don Johnston found several subterranean anomalies close to the cave-in pit in Season 7, Episode 2? One of them was located at a depth of 82 feet, and the other was located at a depth of 91 feet. Following exploratory drilling, it was discovered that 4 feet of sand were present between 99 and 109 feet below the surface. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more blues from the world of mysteries. Today, Oak Island is still a fascinating location where tourists may follow in the footsteps of the pioneers by exploring the money pit's depths and taking in the incredible find that permanently altered the course of history. The island serves as a reminder that there are still mysteries to be solved, secrets to be revealed, and treasures hiding in the most unlikely locations. During the final excavation on Oak Island, researchers made a dreadful discovery. It will alter everything we thought we knew about the enigmatic past of the island. Prepare to uncover the Oak Island mystery that has captivated treasure hunters for centuries. Let's immediately begin the video. Oak Island has been the site of numerous intriguing discoveries over the years, including fragments of ancient parchment, chunks of rusty iron, and even a stone with intricate engravings. However, we now have some mind-blowing updates regarding the horrifying discovery made during excavation on Oak Island. Join us as we explore the mysteries of Oak Island and unearth the truth about this extraordinary discovery. As soon as the television program The Curse of Oak Island made a horrifying discovery at the bottom of the money pit, the situation rapidly deteriorated. The Oak Island personnel closely monitored the B4C shaft excavation in the money pit region. As the crew approached a depth of approximately 90 feet, they detected abundant traces of silver and gold. The team's astounding discovery sparked intense speculation that they may have discovered the approximate location of the mysterious money pit or stumbled upon a network of tunnels that could lead to a hidden treasure chamber. Despite having reached the most thrilling phase of the excavation, the team remained resolute and unyielding, refusing to give up until the objective was reached. The team's confidence increased when they discovered a 90-foot deep tunnel, which they interpreted as a sign that they were coming closer to the original money pit. They were unfazed by the arduous voyage they had undertaken thus far, fueled by their unwavering conviction that their dogged pursuit was bringing them closer to discovering the legendary secrets concealed deep within the mysterious money pit. Frightful discovery at Oak Island during final excavation has been an exciting journey for those who appreciate witnessing the discovery of historical artifacts. The team had been anxiously awaiting progress in the excavation of the money pit region in the hopes of discovering the elusive treasure that has fascinated generations. Every time they dug, they awaited the next scoop or grasp with bated breath, hoping it would be the breakthrough they had been seeking. As they dug deeper, the team discovered scattered fragments of wood that formed a crucial historical puzzle. Among the dispersed remains, they discovered a large and impressive iron object that appeared to be from a bygone era, perhaps as far back as the 1700s. This fortunate discovery provided a glimmer of optimism, indicating that they were moving closer to their ultimate objective, the legendary money pit. However, their journey to unveil the mysteries concealed beneath the surface of the earth took an unexpected turn. At the approximate 130-foot depth of the B4C shaft, just as they were gaining momentum, they were confronted with a shocking discovery: a formidable bedrock formation impeding their progress. This geological impediment sent shockwaves throughout the team, halting their progress and plunging them into a domain of uncertainty. The team's efforts uncovered evidence of a concealed treasure despite encountering obstacles. They dug 5 enormous shafts over the course of several months and discovered indications of its existence. As they were on the verge of disclosing a long-held secret, these discoveries inspired renewed optimism. However, pursuing the money pit had been an arduous and challenging endeavor for centuries. The quest was fraught with obstacles that required unwavering resolve and originality. Motivated by the possibility of acquiring a priceless treasure that had eluded countless others, the team descended into the money pit in search of the enigmatic treasure. The crew began a difficult mission with the knowledge that obstacles lay ahead. They actively sought out new technologies and strategies to surmount the obstacles. They pursued the treasure with great determination, expecting that their efforts would pay off. However, their journey was not solely motivated by prosperity. Oak Island's search for the money pit had a deeper significance. The exploration was motivated by a desire to uncover the mysterious mysteries that had captivated people for centuries. With each stage, the team delved deeper into Oak Island's complexities, driven by an insatiable desire to uncover its hidden truths. The team's unwavering dedication to unraveling Oak Island's mysteries was demonstrated by their unflinching pursuit. Their unyielding determination and tenacity accentuated the noble pursuit of knowledge and discovery, resulting in an enduring tale that will forever be associated with human curiosity. Oak Island has been an enigma for centuries, attracting the attention of treasure hunters, historians, and conspiracy theorists. With each new discovery made by the devoted exploration crew, the allure of the island has grown. Experts were astounded to discover a paved area in the wetland, a peculiar anomaly. In addition, they discovered a 500-year-old stone road, shedding light on the island's ancient history and heightening the mystery encircling its secrets. A mid-15th century rock drill was discovered in the B4C shaft, which was possibly the most astonishing discovery. This artifact has prompted speculation about the island's hidden history and valuable treasures. As Oak Island continues to disclose its secrets, the world eagerly anticipates additional discoveries and the chance to decipher its ancient mysteries. The Lagena brothers and their devoted team embarked on an extraordinary voyage to uncover Oak Island's long-held secrets. Their efforts and breakthroughs brought them closer to the legendary treasure, increasing their confidence that it was within reach. One discovery in particular stood out among their recent discoveries. As they meticulously scrutinized the rock drill discovered in the B4C shaft, a profound realization occurred. This ostensibly unremarkable artifact had the potential to be crucial evidence, leading them directly to the concealed treasure chamber buried beneath the ground. The crew made a remarkable discovery that sparked intense speculation. Through a network of tunnels, they believed they were near to discovering the elusive money pit, or a hidden treasure chamber. Even though they were in the final phase of excavation, the crew remained determined to reach their goal. When they discovered a 90-foot deep tunnel, they believed it was a sign that they were approaching the original money pit. Unfazed by the difficulty of the voyage thus far, they proceeded with the unshakable conviction that they were getting closer to uncovering the mysteries of the money pit. Armed with newly acquired knowledge and an insatiable desire for answers, the Lagena brothers and their companions prepared to delve even deeper, prepared to confront the mysteries that awaited them. Each step drew them closer to uncovering the centuries-old secrets that had been concealed. Their determination was fueled by their unwavering pursuit of the treasure, which had captivated the minds of innumerable explorers before them. The group developed a novel strategy based on their previous findings. They decided to concentrate their efforts on investigating the mysterious stone-paved area in the swamp because they believed it would provide important clues as to the location of the treasure. Using advanced ground-penetrating radar technology, they scanned the surface of the swamp, revealing anomalies that may indicate the presence of concealed chambers or tunnels. The ground-penetrating radar surveys uncovered a remarkable discovery, a network of interconnected tunnels beneath the swamp. The crew realized that these tunnels may hold the key to unlocking Oak Island's final secrets. The crew was filled with anticipation as they prepared to investigate these underground passages, knowing that they were on the verge of a significant discovery. With their specialized equipment and protective gear, the crew entered the recently unearthed tunnels with courage. The ambiance inside was damp and unsettling, which amplified their feelings of excitement and danger. As they progressed deeper into the complex labyrinth, they discovered shards of tools, signs of human habitation, and cryptic symbols etched into the tunnel walls. Each step brought them closer to the long-awaited revelation. After years of arduous searching, the team uncovered a secret chamber concealed deep within the tunnels. As they cautiously opened the chamber door, they were dumbfounded by what they saw. They stood there in awe as they encountered the ultimate prize they had tirelessly sought. The treasure that had evaded them for what seemed like an eternity suddenly materialized before their eyes. It was an awe-inspiring sight, a collection of dazzling jewels, each glistening in its own brilliant hue. Alongside them were artifacts that told tales of long-vanished civilizations. The containers were brimming with unfathomable riches, including gold and silver that glistened with unrivaled opulence. After years of effort, the Oak Island curse was ultimately resolved. Their perseverance and diligence paid off as they uncovered secrets that had been concealed for centuries. In that moment of triumph, they felt a mixture of pleasure and relief, knowing that their perseverance had led to the discovery of a lifetime. Click the subscribe button if the video has piqued your interest thus far. The discovery of the treasure on Oak Island was not only a triumph for the Lagena brothers and their team, but also a demonstration of human tenacity and the enduring appeal of adventure.